Hello, where am I? YouTube. I'm just setting up on Facebook. Why can't I figure this out? Oh, there it is. Okay. They've changed where the live button is. They go back and forth. Sometimes it's in one place, sometimes it's in another. I don't know why they do that. Okay, I'm on Facebook now. Okay, what day is it? Wednesday. Okay. So I just had the craziest days. Plus, my days are never the same. So that's why I get mixed up. Every day is different. Every single day in my business is completely different. So yeah, I don't have a regular schedule. Okay, so I'm just waiting for people to turn up, and I'm on YouTube and I'm on Facebook at the same time. So I'm always on YouTube when I'm doing a live. All of my lives are saved on YouTube. And anyway, I'm just waiting for people to turn up here on Facebook. This is one of my unscheduled lives, and I usually do about 20 minutes per platform. I might start doing that with my regularly scheduled ones. I find an hour and a half is a bit much on my voice because I'm coaching all day and then I have to talk for an hour and a half at night. I find that a little bit hard. So I might start doing just 20 minutes each. Okay. Absolutely love you. Oh, how sweet. Rachel Innes. Oh, I know that name. I'm using it on Miss 9, and we have had 24-hour media. Oh, Miss 9. Okay. And have had one 24-hour media blackout in 2 weeks. Oh, she now knows this mama ain't playing. Good for you. Well, you probably are playing more, right? You're probably connecting with her more. But yeah, good for you. Good for you. I just give advice, but you're the ones doing the work. So if things are working well, give yourself a pat on the back. You're the one doing the work. What do they say? You lead a horse to water and that's up to them to drink. Not that I'm saying you're a horse, you get the idea. That's a horrible analogy. I used another I have no filter system. I just come up with stupid things. And I used another analogy and it was horrible. It was so inappropriate. I thought it was really good. And then I thought about it. I thought that's really horrible. It was far worse than the horse to water one. Anyway, it was about myself. Thank God I wasn't insulting someone else. Okay, so I'm just waiting for your questions now. By the way, my name's Lisa. If you're new here, my name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach, and I'm on here pretty much every day just answering questions. I'm also trying to take a little bit more control over these lives because I'm just responding to your questions, which are all about discipline. Discipline is a tiny part of what I teach. It's all about leadership, connecting, having fun with your kids. And then you don't put up with any crap, though. That's what the discipline's about. That's what that free behavior board's all about. That's about the dealing with the crap. It also has bonding on there, too, so how you connect with them at the same time. Anyway, check out the free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course. I'm still doing those group coaching sessions on Saturday afternoons with the boot camp course. So you can still get in on that. And I'm coaching. You can look into that. I am taking on new clients right now because I've just finished a whole bunch of clients this week. So anyway, if you want to get in on that, you have to apply. I can't always take everyone on, but tell me the age of your kids, what you're dealing with. But look up coaching first so you have an idea if you want to, sign up for coaching. Anyway. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, that's all in the link above. Also, be really careful if you want to look up something, anything to do with my leadership parenting stuff. Make sure you go to the link in one of my platforms, or you look up bratbusters.com, not .ca, not .net, nothing like that, because a lot of people are using my name, my video, all my videos, all my material, and they are scamming people out of money. So, yeah, it happens. You can't. I got a big following now, and it's going to happen. There's nothing I can do about it. Okay, absolutely. We are connecting in leadership with respect both ways. Okay, so this is Rachel. She said that it's going really well with the behavior board. They're starting to be leaders now. And the kid is just getting it. Your 9-year-old, Miss 9-year-old is just getting it. But then I said, and you're probably having more fun with her too, right? Because it is all about connecting with your kids and having fun with them. I don't talk a lot about that, which is the reason I don't is because I have my own personal style is I'm a little bit on the crazy side. And when I'm playing with kids, I'm very good at connecting with them in their world because I have a lot of little kid in me. So it's easy for me, but I don't want parents think that you don't have to be silly and crazy like I was with kids. You can connect in lots of ways, but you want to connect in their world, but you're going to have your own personality going into it. So that's why I don't discuss a lot of my own personal style. But yeah, I was a little bit nuts. I still am the goofy one in the family. My kids are adults in that. I'm still the goofy one. It's just my basic personality. Can't help it. I is who I is. Okay. Okay. My daughter is 6 and she has a lot of negative self-talk. How can I help her, please? There's two different reasons for that. Either she's doing that for attention or she truly does not like herself. So the best thing you can do for that is be a leader. Remember, we're not fixing kids here. We're teaching parents. Check out my boot camp course. That might be a good one for you. When they have a leader as a parent, they only need one really good leader, by the way. The other one can be the pleaser who defers to the leader. So you're still on the same page, but there's usually just one real clear leader. There's always one that's a bit better at it. You can have two leaders, but there's always one that's better at it. Anyway, once a child has a really calm, strong leader, someone that they look up to, they tend to not do negative self-talk because it makes you're increasing their self-esteem and their confidence. You're giving them a voice too. You don't want obedient soldiers. That's ridiculous. You want kids who have a voice. Okay. So I just got a message from one of my kids. I'm having lunch with my son tomorrow. He's 34. It's a 40-minute drive. Anyway, I can't remember the last time I've really even looked at my son. The reason is he's got a baby now. So I'm actually seeing him without the baby, just the two of us. So I don't even remember what he looks like because it's all just looking at the babies. It'd be nice to actually say, oh, I remember you. Okay. I can lead one 13-year-old daughter, but seem to have a hard time leading my 11-year-old daughter. Oh, so you got a feistier one than the other. How come I'm having the hard time with her? I don't know. It's just different personalities, right? So, they're all different. There's usually one target in the family. When people hire me for coaching, I often say, which one's the target? And they all know, if they have a target, they all know exactly what I'm talking about. So yeah, your 11-year-old would probably more likely be the target of the one that you really want to focus on when you're exercising your leadership skills. So they're the ones that we sort of design the board around without making it too obvious. So check out the behavior board that's free above, or you can look up, now you got a 13-year-old. The boot camp course, it ends at 12. It actually can go to 14, depending on their maturity level. But if they're really, savvy, mature 13-year-old, that wouldn't work. Because teenagers are different. That's all coaching. But anyway, check out the behavior board. That's completely free. And you can put rules and consequences on there for the whole family. But yeah, you've just got one that maybe just a bit of a different personality, a little bit more feisty, clashes with you a little bit, right? Same here. The behavior board I've tried at least 10 times now always says, thank you, you will receive, and I never do. Oh, okay. You could have put the wrong email in. Sign up again. Everyone who doesn't get it has put the wrong email in. Not one person who signed up for that behavior board has not put the wrong email in. So sign up again. Make sure you've got the right email. That could be it. So send me, and I don't even answer those emails anymore because I do sometimes. But if someone says I didn't get the behavior board, it's because they haven't waited the 20 minutes. It takes about 20 minutes for it to arrive, and it's just an attachment at the bottom of the email that you will receive. There's 2 attachments anyway. So yeah, make sure you put the right email in. If you're still having problems, if you've tried 10 times, then send me an email and I'll look into it. Say in the subject line, so I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I got hay fever. In the subject line, put I'm the one that's tried for the email 10 times, or behavior board, and then I'll look at it. I admit I have to delete a lot of emails. I can't answer them all. If it's just general parenting questions, I can't answer those. I just don't have time. All my parenting questions, that's why I do these free lives. I don't get paid for this. This is all free. This is where I answer all the general parenting questions. But if you've got like problems with the courses or coaching and courses, that's all different, right? I will answer those. Sorry, I feel like I got a sneeze coming and it's not pretty. Okay. And so many people write if they put their email in wrong, so I'll look it up and they'll I think you can put your email in the right way to get how does that work? I don't know. But you know how many people put in .con instead of .com? Like a lot. Okay, it's funny. I mean, I'm sure I do that too. My daughter's 6 months old, but I like your perspective on parenting. Yeah, you're getting a head start. There's not much you can do with toddlers other than manage their environment and understand that. I'll read out my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. Right now, you just, with little ones, you meet their needs and meet their wants. So if a baby cries, I pick them up. I don't like crying babies. I like them, but I don't like them to cry. So, but then when they hit around 15 months, that's when you start meeting their needs and managing their wants. So you're not going to give them everything they want. And you're not really doing that beforehand, but there's not much disciplining going on up until about then. But anyway, here's my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers, 16 months to 29 months. 35 months, sorry. Why would I say 29? That doesn't mean anything. Anyway, 16 months to 35 months. To me, that's a toddler. Okay. Number one, childproof your home so you never have to say no. Number two, set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. Number three, you want to connect with a toddler in their world. You don't take them to the nail salon. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. They start to look at you differently. When you watch how they play and join in. Okay, they just start to look at you differently when you get good at this. And number four is stop with the mini therapy sessions when you're disciplining a toddler. They're not about words, they're about actions. They need consistent corrective actions. They throw a toy, you pick it up and put it where they can see it but can't touch it. So that's the consequence, right? You got to be fast so they can connect the action with the consequence. But you got to do it like probably 50 times before they catch on. And then number five is the most important one. Stop trying to figure them out. Toddlers are not figure outable. They're brand new, fresh human beings. They're just forming. They've got one marble and some tumbleweed in here, okay? Cute as a button, but they're all feet, no brains. Imagine if you've only been in the world for 2 years and for one of those years you were a potato laying on a mattress. So yeah, don't try and figure them out. Just go with it. They're going to do silly stuff. They might eat silly stuff. They might even go like this and smear poop on the wall. Yeah, toddlers are going to do toddler stuff, right? Oh, jeez. I just want to go in there and scratch, but I know it just wouldn't help. Just hay fever time. Oh, this is such a good question. My 23-month-old daughter is coloring right now. Do I have to be strict and teach her how to color or just let her color? Whatever way she wants. Whatever way she wants. Actually, if a kid is doing something like that, you know what I do? I just said it actually. If with toddlers, I watch how they play and I join in. So if they were coloring all crazy like that, I would sit down beside them and I'd probably color crazy. And then I'd slowly transition into coloring inside the lines. I always enter in their world, but then I often tweak it a bit and might sort of teach them how to color a bit better. But yeah, don't worry about that. They can go scribble all over the place. Do you know I was so good at coloring? This is crazy. I was so good at coloring when I was a kid. You know, maybe in your city they didn't do this, but in Vancouver, BC, they used to have the Easter coloring contest in the newspaper every Easter, and I won it every single year. And they ended up banning me from it because every newspaper, even the local rags, I'd make sure I got all the papers and I'd enter all the contests. They'd even try and confirm how old I was, because I think you had to be 12 and under. So anyway, but I won like it was $20 each time or something. I won every single time I entered. It's not going to get you a great job in life or anything, but I was a very good colorer, if I do say so myself. I had a little secret in how I did it. I won't share that though. It's a secret. It was me doing it, but I just had a different way of doing something. Does the playtime with the kid count if I'm playing with both at the same time? Absolutely. You want to play with them both at the same time. You don't want to do the one-on-one alone, like, oh, I like quality time with that kid, quality time with that kid. If they get along great, that's fine. If not, you're building resentment. One of the reasons why you want to play as a family, especially when they're close in age, they're only 3 and 5. So you want to play with them as a family, is it teaches them how to get along too. Like my son was 8 years old, or not 8, he was 5 years older than my daughter. So when he was 8, she was 3. So, but you think that they're going to play much together at that age split, and a boy and a girl, but they learned how to get along and how to play together because we did a lot of stuff together. So that teaches them how to get along. And most of our play was usually laughing at mom. So, you know, I'm really crazy. I did a lot of crazy stuff. So they were making fun of me. That's how they bonded. What's the difference? I know where you're going with this. Okay. What's the difference between a consequence and doing something good when they do something bad? And also, wouldn't that teach them that only do things they have to do in order to get rewarded? I don't know what you mean by that part. But a lot of people get consequences mixed up, like it should be something bad. So if they do something bad, they should do something good, right? So, and then usually it's chores. I think I know what you're going here. Only to get rewarded. Where's the reward, though? I don't understand the reward part of your question. I thought you were going to say then we don't want them to associate bad behavior with chores. What's wrong with that? You know, you do something bad, you do something good to make up for it. So don't get caught up in worrying about that. But I don't know what you mean by rewarded. How are they getting rewarded? I don't understand that part. Whew, God, I just feel like I got to sneeze. I literally feel like someone's got a stalk of grass up my nose and is trying up here and is trying to make me sneeze. Ah, Okay, so I'm going to scroll ahead because I don't like answering questions if people have gone. So people come and go in these lives. So I do tend to do the big scroll ahead. My 3-year-old does not know how to self-regulate and has sensory disorder. He bites, pinches. Any suggestions? I never understand what sensory disorder means. It's such a broad statement. It's like saying he has a personality. Like I never quite know what that means. Um, yeah, I'm not sure about that. It's such a broad statement. Anyway, no, a 3-year-old does not know how to self-regulate. You're absolutely accurate. So yeah, I don't know what your question is though. If he bites and pinches, just say don't hurt other people. That's the rule on the behavior board. Just start there. Say no hurting other people. And then when he does, there's a consequence. Actually, no hitting is the example I use on the behavior board. So yeah, just start there. But the thing is that I think that parents think that because they can't self-regulate, they got sensory issues, they got ADHD, WXYZ, whatever, as if that makes any difference with me. Like, no, it doesn't. Still, leadership is leadership. It doesn't matter what the kid's got going on. So yeah. There are exceptions like ASD, autism spectrum disorder, children who have developmental delays, children who've been abused. I specialize in crisis work, so I've dealt with a lot of abused kids. There are exceptions that we do things a little bit differently, but that would be coaching. That's not here. That's not on my, this is all my general information here. I got a ton of teenagers on my client list right now, just a ton of them. I don't know why it happens that way. None of them I would say are in crisis though. No life and death stuff right now, which is usually I do have someone who's this. So, but it's interesting because so they're usually very different, like all the teenagers, because they get more developed, they get older, they get more mature. So their problems are more unique usually to themselves. But I could copy and paste about 4 of these families, copy and paste. That's all. It's so similar. It hardly ever happens like that. I got 4 families right now. I could almost copy and paste their teenage, how they're progressing, everything. It's quite interesting. I love what I do. Teenagers are my favorite age. Okay. Do you think some of the content you offer can help someone reparent themselves as an adult? And if not, would that be content you're interested in creating? Oh, I wouldn't create that because I teach parenting. So no, I wouldn't. I never go outside of my lane because it took me like 52 years to get here with my knowledge base now. I've been working with kids for 52 years. I'd have to work another 52 years before I'd feel qualified to teach that. I haven't got time. I'm in my 60s now. So yeah, no, I would never teach something I wasn't super confident in. And no, that's not my thing. No. Not associating doing something good for a reward. Well, I don't give rewards. I don't know. You're using the reward system. I don't do that. Like it's a reward chart. It's a disaster. I hate reward charts. Yeah, I don't quite know what you mean by that. I don't do rewards. My baseline expectation is good behavior. We're having fun. I'm a fun mom. You want to be a fun parent. That is the reward. A happy family life is the reward. You don't give rewards for being good. That's like, what you're saying to your child? If you have a reward chart, you're saying you're normally rotten. If you should happen to be good, you'll get a gold star. It's sending a really bad message. And you shouldn't be rewarded just for being nice. That's my baseline expectation is respectful. So I might have misread that, but it's a good message to hear anyway. A 15-year-old son doesn't have friends. He ignores stop signals, annoying to someone, and isn't aware of rejection. Can I help him? I don't know if you can help him. I deal with a lot of teenagers with a lot of social issues. Yeah, so I don't know. If you want to work with me, you might want to look up coaching. That would be coaching. What's interesting is when I'm hired by parents of teenagers, girls, the most common ages, 12 to 16. Boys, just turned 15. I've got about, I think, 6 clients right now with 15-year-old boys. I've got clients with other age teenagers too, but with boys, it's usually 15. That's the age. That's the hormones. That's testosterone, right? It's what's going on. That's why it's happening. Yeah. Okay, I have 4-year-old ASD and 3-year-old with suspected ASD. That's autism spectrum disorder. and ADHD, that's just ADHD, who have real aggressive tendencies towards each other. How can I help with this? If they have autism, that you'd have to hire me for that. That's more of a specialty. It's not something I can generally talk about here. Okay. This is just my general stuff. That's more in the specialty department. So you'd have to hire me for coaching to help you with that. Because every child on the spectrum, they're a little bit different, right? Something might work with one, not with another. So I'd have to, I have to assess the situation before I'd even could begin to answer that. How do you help change a child's bad attitude? You're going to hate me. You're going to hate me. If they have a bad attitude, it means you're not a leader. It means they don't respect you. It's a tell. You've created that bad attitude. So you can uncreate it. Okay. Your leadership will uncreate that. So yeah, that's on you. Take responsibility for their bad attitude. Children between the ages of 3 and 12, their behavior is 100% a direct result of your parenting. It's all you. I don't teach kidding here. I teach parenting. Work on your leadership skills. They have a really good attitude with a leader. They just do. Check out the pool story. You'll get the idea what I say what I mean when I say leadership. The pool story, I don't know where it is here on Facebook, but on Instagram and TikTok, it's the very first video. It's pinned, and it's called Example of Leadership Parenting. And that was my best video. I told it really well in that one video. That's why I like that one. Sometimes I'll miss a point or something, but that video, I hit every point in that story. And yeah, so look that up. Their bad attitude is on you. It just is. You want to take responsibility for your children. You'd rather blame yourself than them, right? Right? You love them more than yourself, right? So yeah, take responsibility for their bad attitude and fix yourself as a parent. Set up your leadership skills, and that attitude will organically change. That's how it works. We're not fixing kids. We're teaching parents here. You lead, they will follow. It's just what happens. Now we are coloring together. Thanks for the advice. That's cute. I had a blast with my kids. Raising kids, like mothering, was the most fun I ever had. And it was just a really beautiful time in my life. We were just laughing all the time. We got along great. It was fun. But yeah, we did a lot of stuff together. It was just a riot. That's what I want for all of you. I want you to enjoy it. Thank you so much. Oh boy, I'm going to say something really controversial, but I've said it before, so here I go. I don't have a filter system, so thank you so much. I'm just as lost with it. Sometimes I believe the doctors just diagnosed with something to just satisfy the parent. That's what ODD is, oppositional defiant disorder. Doctors have told me that. They made it up just to make the moms feel better, so they can blame their kids and not themselves. What a big mistake. Don't you want to tell the parent, it is you? Because you can fix it. You can only fix yourself anyway. Would you rather think there's something wrong with your kid, that they're broken? Or would you rather think you just haven't learned how to be a leader yet? Would you rather blame your kid or yourself? When I was working with kids, if they acted out under my care, I always thought, what am I missing here? What am I doing wrong? They weren't even my kids. Adults take responsibility for children. You should be a leader. So yeah, ODD, oppositional defiant disorder, was invented to make moms feel better. That's what doctors have told me. So it's not a medical diagnosis. It's interesting, eh? It's a way for the moms to blame the kids so they don't have to blame themselves. Oh, I can't help it. He's got ODD. Isn't that awful that they came up with something so that moms didn't have to make moms feel better, so they never worked on their kids' behavior. They just said, oh, I can't help him. He's got ODD. Isn't that awful? Jeez. Talk about not helping people. Like, I just think that's awful. Oops. I got to get going. I'm moving over to Instagram now. If you want to join me over there, it's Bratbusters Parenting. This is getting busier now. But my Facebook used to be the quietest live. But now they're all pretty busy now, the Instagram. So none of them are quiet anymore. But this one used to be quiet probably a month ago. Because I've only been on Facebook for about 4 or 5 months. Anyway, if you check out the link above, that is me. It's not a scammer. I know people are getting scammed out of money by people pretending to be me. They're using my picture, my videos, my name, but I'm live here right now. You know this is me, and the link above is me. So it's my stuff. So I can't help the people from scammers. They're all over the world, right? Just make sure you hit on that link above if you want to look up my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course. I've still got those live group coaching sessions going on Saturday with the boot camp course, 3 to 12 years old. And then coaching. Look into coaching. I can't take everyone on these days, but if you look into it, if you're interested, send me an email. Tell me why, ages of your kids, and what your challenges are. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Happy parenting. I'm on YouTube now. Okay. Um, what would you say if your kid says, I'm crying because you told me no? What would you say? I normally say, well, sometimes mom needs a. I would just say, whatever. I would not answer that. They're trying to turn it around on you. They're trying to make you feel guilty. They're trying to manipulate you. You made me feel bad. No, your action made you feel bad. But I wouldn't even say that. Yeah, I would just go, whatever. I would not get into that at all. Also, would you call this end of the tantrum? Also, would you call this the end of the tantrum? I don't know. I don't know what you mean by that. My 3-year-old has been saying no more frequently lately. We try to allow her to express herself, but any tips for dealing with the word no? Just ignore it. Like if you've said, oh, we're going to be going now, and she says no, pick her up and take her out. Like just make it happen. You follow up with an action. You don't keep arguing with the kid. Anyway, at 3, a 3-year-old, it's the fork in the road. At 3, if you're kind of a leader already, and in the toddler years, it doesn't show up a lot. But at 3, they already know if you're a leader. 3 is they have the ability to stop and think before they act. That's why it's the fork in the road. Anyway, if you've been a leader and they turn 3, they get super easy. If you haven't been a leader and they've been in charge, they get worse. They find their power. It's like they go like this. I'm 3 now. Wait a minute. You don't know what you're doing. I think I'll take over. It's almost like that. They're not that evil, but I'm just exaggerating. I do that. I exaggerate. 3-year-old runs out of his room when we put him to bed all the time. Yeah, there's a whole system in place for that. Check out my Bedtime Battles course. It's one of my mini courses. It'll teach you how to handle that. It's hard. It's a night of hell, but it's usually worth it. Yeah, check it out. It's in 2 parts, the Bedtime Battles course. How to get them in bed, that's the easy part. How to keep them there, that's the hell. Good luck with that. If you check it out, good luck with that. But most parents say it was hell, but it was worth it. They often only have one bad night. What do you do when your toddler gets a tantrum and starts hitting things? You just physically restrain them when they get violent, but you don't look at them or talk to them. You always ignore the crazy. Crazy is a tantrum because it's not emotions. It's a loss of emotional control at not getting their own way. You do not need to validate that. You do not need to give that any attention. You can just physically restrain them from hurting themselves, hurting someone else, or damaging property. So yeah, they're going to do that. How to stop a 3-year-old from throwing his toys when he gets upset. Put down no throwing things on the behavior board, and every time he does, there's a consequence. That's it. Also, get a toy rotation system in place. I did that with all ages. Get a toy rotation. I have a whole bunch of videos on toy rotation. Check that out. So they don't have that many toys to throw. So if they have 50 toys, it's going to be one heck of a day. But if they only have 5 toys out, you know what I mean? So yeah, say no throwing toys. If he does it twice, you use the first consequence twice. But if he does it 3 times, say we're going right to the second consequence. Check out my free behavior board. You'll understand when you look at that. Questions are coming in really fast. So I'm going to have to really search them over. I'm going to try and mix up ages. Has anyone got teenagers here? I really like to, okay. 10-year-olds, because I like to mix up ages when I'm doing these lives. 10-year-old still throws tantrums when he doesn't get his way. That's a tell. Past the age of 4, they only do what works, okay? Pretty much right at 4. 3 and 9 months or 4. They only do what works. That says they must work. There must be a payoff for those tantrums. There has to be. Otherwise, he wouldn't still be doing it. Check out my boot camp course. That might be a good fit for you. I'm still doing the live coaching sessions every Saturday with that group in the group coaching in the boot camp course. Check that out. If not, if you don't want to buy that course, just get the free behavior board and check that out. It's all about you and your leadership, okay? It goes behavior board free, course money, coaching more money. That's how it goes, but it depends. You get a different level of service with each one. But the behavior board is free. It always has been free and it always will be free. Most people don't want to hire me, never will, or maybe can't afford to, whatever. So I want to help them. That behavior board I use with almost all my clients. I've never changed it in 16 years I've been using it. So yeah, it's just about rules and consequences, and you're on there too. That's what makes it work. A leader also is accountable. They're watching you. You lead by example because you're a leader. You're not an authority. You're not a dictator. You don't want to raise obedient little soldiers. That's ridiculous. They're going to rebel like crazy in the teen years. But yeah, you don't want that. So you want to be a leader. So check out the behavior board or the boot camp course. Check out the free behavior board first. It'll give you a good idea, but the boot camp course starts with the behavior board, then we go off it in week 4 and 5. So we go to the next level. But the behavior board, check out the free behavior board first, and it'll give you an idea of what I do. It's a good indication of leadership. Also, check out the pool story. That is that's my best story about what I consider leadership parenting to be all about. You deal with bad behavior, then you focus on the good kid. You want kids who like themselves, who have high self-esteem, who have pride in themselves. That is your goal. When you do that for a child, they just don't. They're just so nice to you. They just would never be rude to you because they look up to you. You're like a mentor. You're a parent, but you're like a mentor. You're their guiding light. They want to please you. That's because you make them feel so good about themselves. Have you ever been around anyone who makes you feel great? Would you ever be rude to that person? Why would you do that? Why on earth would you do that? That would just be ridiculous, right? Kids are no different. I'm not even going to read this. Someone's telling about how great their kid is. I'm not even going to read that because other parents are going to go, boo. Because everyone's on here, oh, my kid's doing this, and my kid's great. I'm not going to read that one. Okay, what are good consequences for a 3-year-old? He likes cleaning, etc. Yeah, they usually like it until they're good at it, but he might be like me. I love cleaning anyway. Don't worry about it. So it's better if they don't like it, but they don't have to. Like if their behavior is not right off the wall, it's okay. They did something bad, now they're replacing it with something good. It doesn't mean they have to hate it. Don't get caught up in what's on the behavior board. Just make it work. Okay. And when you're doing this alone, like without me coaching or without the course, and even with the course, if I'm not doing it with you and making it up with you and coaching, then make it easy. Start slow and then you work your way up. We're just starting real slow here, right? Oh, I used the most horrible analogy with a client earlier. I felt really bad about it. I won't say what it was. I just come up with these stupidest analogies. I don't know what's wrong with me. I equated dieting with parenting, and it was just the stupidest example that I used. I can remember what it was. I don't even want to say it. It was so dumb. But my whole point in this story, it was a very good story, and they got it. But it's that you start slow. You can't, I'm not going to say what my example was. It was so stupid. But anyway, you start slow. The results will come later, but you're putting in the base work. You're putting in the groundwork right now, okay? That first couple of weeks is just the groundwork. Maybe by week 3 or 4, you'll start to see results. But yeah, the kids are usually going to get worse before they get better because they're thinking, I remember the old you before you were doing any of this. I'm going to get the old you back. So they'll usually push harder. When they sense that you're trying to take control, they'll usually fight back. It depends on what level you're at with your kids, if they're really feisty or not. Oh God, that's such an awful analogy. I have no tact at all. I just say what I'm thinking. Oh, that was a bad one. I'm going to write it down because I'm going to tell someone about it. It's so bad. Oh, God. Sorry. I made myself laugh. That was funny. Poor clients. What did I put them through? How do you tackle bedtime? Okay, I have a bedtime battles course. It's in 2 parts. It's a whole system. How you get them in bed is the first part. That's the easy part. Then how you keep them there. So it's a whole system. Check out the course. It's in the link above. It goes from 2 to 8 years old. Oh, yeah, they're just wrapping you around their fingers. Yeah, they got you figured out. I believe in communication. Yep. As a child, I was labeled troublemaker and judged constantly. They were all wrong. I am a better mother than my family and relatives because of that. Yeah, well, good for you. I mean, that, a lot of people, when you're labeled a troublemaker, it's usually the kid that's different from everybody else, or you're different from your parents. They think that because you're different, there's something wrong with you. A lot of parents think that you should be like in their eyes, like them. And that's where they say, oh, there's the black sheep. She's the troublemaker. There's nothing worse than labeling a kid like that. There usually is a target in coaching. And I'll often say to the parent, which kid is the target? So we'll sort of design everything around that one kid, but we don't want to make it obvious, right? Like we don't put down for all the kids, continue being as lovely as ever. And you stop hitting, stop being So we got to be very careful that we don't single them out. But yeah, just because they're different, they might be the creative one later on. They might be the more popular one. They might be the politician. They might be, just a real extrovert. And so often the black sheep is the one that ends up doing the best in life. Yes, you can access this video later. It's on YouTube. That's where I save all of my videos, all of my lives. The person who does my videos now, they take them from Facebook because I save them on Facebook for 30 days, all my lives that I do. You'll just see the Facebook part of it. But YouTube, all the lives are on. I'm on YouTube the whole time, and then I go from Facebook to Instagram to TikTok, but I'm on YouTube that whole time. So the whole live is on there. 9-year-old hyperfixates on negative of everything. I don't know what's going on there. I would have to assess that. I'd probably figure it out pretty quickly. There's a payoff for that. Um, yeah, there's a reason why your child's doing that. I just don't know what it is. Could be lots of different things. There would be a payoff for it. There must be some benefit to that. Okay. It's not always a good benefit. Like parents say, well, they're not getting anything out of it, but there is some benefit to it. It's just not always what you think it is. I don't think that you need coaching for just that, but that would be where I'd have to, but I don't think you need coaching, but that's where that's really not fair to say, well, I could figure it out, but you don't need coaching. Anyway, because it might just be one session. So, and I don't do one sessions anymore. Okay. My 3-year-old is digressing with potty training. She was doing great. Now just chooses not to go when she doesn't want to. Do I implement consequences when she has accidents now? No, you never no, you never punish bodily functions. It is something you can really mess your kids up with that. Like you just don't. So yeah, I would say, okay, so if you have an accident, then we're gonna, by the way, never put pull-ups on her. You want her to have uncomfortable accidents. She will get you cleaned up. Does she mind being in a mess? If she does, then leave her in there a little bit longer, but look like you're cleaning up and you're busy. So, but don't make a big deal out of it. I don't know why she's regressing. That is it just the poop or is it the pee? I know why they don't like pooping in the toilet, but if it's both, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. If it's just the poop, I can give you some good advice on that one. What to do when dad goes hard on punishments? Do I fix it or leave it? So you mean, do you undermine dad? No, you got to get on the same page. You don't go sneaking behind each other's backs doing different things. No. Yeah, just, what I do, not what I do, but what I recommend to parents, and they say, well, I've been watching you and I agree with what you're doing, but the dad doesn't, whatever, is a lot of times when I'm hired, it's usually by the mom, and I'll tell you why, and I'll get into this. But anyway, this is what I often see. The mom's like this, and then the dad's in the background like this. Like, I always think, and I often say, gee, I wonder who wanted to hire me. So, anyway, so the reason is dads are fixers. They resent me coming in to fix their family that they couldn't fix. And I always say the same thing. I've got 52 years of experience with kids, and you think that you can handle kids as well as I can? Like, how ridiculous, how sort of insulting to me. Like I've put in all those years with kids. So yeah, why not use, you get personal trainers, you get people to help you with stuff that have experience with stuff. So what's different from this? Anyway, what we do is we work on setting one of those parents up as a leader. Sometimes it is the dad. I pick who I think I can work with the best. It's not always the one like this. It sometimes is this one. So I just have to, I don't even know how I do it. I just pick the one that I know I can work best with. Anyway, so we pick a leader and the other one has to defer to them. So what I say with coaching, it's easy because I just say, don't waste your money. This is how it has to go, right? I take charge in coaching. But if you're doing this on your own, then what you do is you say, look, I like what this woman's saying. I want to give it a go for 3 weeks. And then if not, then we can do it your way. Okay. If it's not working, we'll do it your way. But can you please just defer to me? Okay. Defer and be on the behavior board also. But yeah, it's the best I can give you. I can't control other adults. I can tell you how to control kids, but I can't tell you how to control adults because they're adults, right? It's like when people say, how do I handle the Badinsky in-laws? I can't tell you how to handle your in-laws. What I usually say is just say this. Look, you hurt my feelings when you undermine my parenting. If they can't respect that, I can't help you. What else can you say? If they don't respect that, then good luck. Sometimes you just have to put up with people. Oops, I have to scroll ahead. What time is it? Oh, I got to go. I got to move over to TikTok now. If you want to join me over there, it's Bratbusters Parenting. If not, you can check out the link above. And be careful, just follow my link because people are using my videos. They're using my information. They're using my face, my name, everything, and scamming people out of money. That link above is me. It is my stuff. So you can check that out. You can get your free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course. You can still get in on those group coaching sessions with the boot camp course. They're every Saturday at noon, Vancouver time, Pacific time. Or you can look into coaching. I can't take everyone on these days. So you could just tell me what's going on. Look at coaching first. If you really want to hire me, then send me an email. Say this is the age of our kids and what we're going through. And if it's crisis work, which is usually teenage stuff, you could put down crisis in the subject line, and I'll get to that. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. I'm hopping over to TikTok now. Happy parenting. Oops, I dropped something.
Well, and this is
Just a second, drop something. Okay. Okay, I'm on TikTok now, and I'm also on YouTube. So let's see what's going on YouTube. Can a 2-year-old manipulate? 100%, absolutely. She normally says you made me cry after throwing the tantrum. Oh well, just say whatever. You didn't make her cry. She made herself cry. So don't get pulled into that. You made me cry. She's going for the pity. Yeah. Don't fall for it. Can you explain why outburst or tantrum would not be on the behavior board? Think about if you're upset and your partner said to you, "Can you calm down?" It's like that. It's very condescending, patronizing, and it's not fair. It's unreasonable to put emotions on a behavior board. I think that's I never do that. Yeah. Can you imagine if you're upset and you're crying because you're mad at something your partner did and they said to you, "Calm down, or there'll be a consequence." It's like that. Yeah. It's kind of mean. Yeah. We never do that. Okay, so let's get going with your parenting questions. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Lisa. I'm a parenting coach, and I'm just here answering questions. So if you look at the link above, you can get my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course. I'm still doing the group coaching sessions on Saturdays with the boot camp course. So you can still get in on that if you want to. And all those group coaching Zooms are also going on the course. So you'll be able to see that. It's not going to be taken off, so that'll be part of it, part of the course. And then you can also look into coaching. I can't take everyone on these days. I'm really busy. So look into coaching. If you really want to hire me and work with me, then you can send me an email and apply for coaching and put down the ages of your kids and what you're struggling with. If it's crisis, life and death teen stuff, I always take that on. That's my specialty, is crisis work. So if it is crisis, like, abuse, trauma, and teen stuff, then I will always take that on. Or if you're a past client, you're my second priority. So like repeat. A lot of people come back to me throughout the years because different stuff happens, right? Now they've got a bully in school. Now what do we do with that? They've developed a phobia or something, whatever. So yeah, stuff comes up. They just want to check in. Here you're asking me, I just mentioned this on Instagram. How do you handle other caregivers not following the tantrum rules? You don't. Because you don't tell other people how to handle your kids. If you trust them enough to look after your kids, don't micromanage them. Your children will adapt very quickly to you. They do. They get very good at this. They're different with the teacher. They're different with you. They're different. You know what I mean? They will adapt. So yeah, don't micromanage other people with your kids. You can ask them to do what you do, but if they say we're doing it our way, you're dropping your kids off with us. Like I'm like that. Like I have a grandchild now. So, and I'm very respectful. I would never tell them how to parent. But if they drop that kid off with grandma's rules. Unless they had something they really, stipulated. But yeah, you don't micromanage other people. If you trust them enough to look after your children, don't tell them how to do it. I like that children learn to adapt to different people. I think that's important. But you be consistent with your parenting. Okay, I'm good at playing and being silly with my 3-year-old. I was a very silly mother, but she now disobeys me and thinks it's a game. Okay, the trick is that you take off the silly hat like that. If they ever get crazy, if they ever get overstimulated and start getting crazy and whatever. I used to be, I don't like to talk a lot about my style because it's not for everybody, right? I was a little bit on the goofy side. It was very goofy. But yeah, I used to chase the kids around with underpants on my head. I was the panty monster. So I did laundry every day, and then I'd put the underpants on my head, and I would have the leg holes were my eye holes. And I'd yell out, "Panty monster's ready, I'm coming to get you." So they'd run around screaming. Now, if they had done anything I didn't like, those panties would have come off like that. Okay, game over. You see, they knew mom was very quick. They knew that if they ever did do anything disrespectful or act out or anything, the fun just instantly stopped. It's got to be fast. really fast. And I'd say, we'll do it again tomorrow. So yeah. You're always mom for I was crazy. I was definitely friends with my kids for sure, but I was mom first. My number one role was mother, and then friend was second. But because they never acted out, I was just like buddies all the time. But I was very much the leader. They were very aware I was mom. Like there was never any line crossed ever. Yeah, you play with your kids, but the play stops like that if they get disrespectful. And it's no anger. Just say, okay, well, we'll do it again tomorrow. Okay. But that's not fair. Well, you'll know next time, won't you? Like, I wouldn't argue that. I would never argue that. Kids never argued with me, even kids I worked with, because they learn when I said something, I don't explain myself. They already understand it. They're not morons. They understand, right? So yeah, I don't explain myself. And when I've said something, it happens. I remember once we lived in Australia and we used to go down the Gold Coast a lot from Brisbane. And it's like theme park alley, like Disneyland, SeaWorld, all these like theme parks up and down the coast. They didn't have Disneyland, but it was all like that, right? We used to love Dream World. That was our favorite one. It's like Disneyland, but without the lineups. It's fantastic. Anyway, that's why my kids hated Disneyland. It's just lineups because they had all those theme parks growing up. I didn't even think about that when I took my Australian kids to Disneyland. They hated it. Anyway, so we're just standing in lineups for hours. So anyway, we drove down there once. It was just me and my son. He was 4. My daughter wasn't born yet. Or he was 3 or 4. And my friend came down in her car with her kids because you got car seats. We couldn't fit them all in one car. So anyway, we met down at Dream World. Now, my son was in a mood. He just was cranky that day. So he was miserable looking. So I said to him, if you don't put a smile on your face, we're going to go home right now. And my friend went, oh no, because she knew when I said something, it was going to happen. As soon as it was out of my mouth, I thought, what an idiot. Because I thought, oh, great, we're going to have to drive home now. And I would have done it. And anyway, he went like this. And then it turned into a real smile. So much for the mood, right? But yeah, when you say something, you have to make it happen. I don't put up with any crap. And when you say something, though, you have to make it happen. Would you explain why you stopped playing with them if they say, what did I do? They already know. Okay, I would say, I didn't like that, and then would take them off. I don't go on about it. They know. They're not stupid. Parents over-explain, but I didn't mean it. I didn't understand. Parents get pulled into this all the time. They tell me how smart their kids are, then the next thing they're a complete moron because they don't have a clue that they hit you and that was bad. They know. Okay, past the age of like 2.5 to 3, they know. So yeah, it's this over-explaining. They pull you in. They're trying to talk you out of it. They're trying to talk you into being back the way you were. They're trying to get their own way. That's all they're doing. So yeah, I explain it, but yeah, you hit, underpants come off, and that's it. The end. But why? But why? Why? I would never answer that. Not in a million years. No way. They don't. That's why they didn't question me because they knew there was no point. Kids only do what works, and once they realize when I say something, I mean it. So there's no anger. It's just I just would ignore that. Okay. I did this. Oh, you're going to hate me. I did this to my son for his 10th birthday. We all went to a theme park without him. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that on a birthday, and I wouldn't go without him. Like I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that on the birthday, especially. Yeah, I'd be very careful with that. I might say, okay, so we're all going to go, but you're not going to get no media for 24 hours when we get home, or something like that. I wouldn't ruin a kid's birthday. I just wouldn't do that. I understand a lot of parents do stuff that, they just go overboard and they do stuff like that because you get so fed up and then you come in so hard like that. But then if you're not, it's better to be consistent and not that hard rather than every so often. That's it. I take no TV for a whole year, and then you don't do anything. And then you come in hard again. It's better to sort of gradually it's better to be not as hard, but really super consistent. Okay. I was going to go on a bit about that. I've said enough about that. Was done calmly. Oh, that's exactly what I was going to ask. I said, did you do it in anger? I was just going to ask that. Yeah, I get why you did it. I understand that. And I don't want to be critical, but I just wouldn't want anyone else to think that I would recommend that. I wouldn't recommend it. I would never want to ruin a kid's birthday. no matter what they did. Yeah, I'd say, okay, tomorrow we'll discuss it. I would defer the punishment. He's an adult now, so he survived. Yeah, they do. I need help with teens. Yeah, teenager stuff is all coaching. If you want my help and you want to hire me for coaching, look it up. It's in the link above, and then you have to apply for it because I can't take everyone on. And you put down the ages of your kids and what you're going through. If it's crisis work, you know what I mean by crisis, life and death stuff, stuff like that, pregnancies, all that sort of stuff, the big stuff, then I usually prioritize that. Because teens are my favorite age. I started my business doing teen crisis work. That's what I did. And then I used to do a lot of like TV and radio and news. I had a column in the paper and all that. That's back in the day before social media took over. And I remember once I was doing the news and they introduced me as the crisis queen. And I thought, I don't want to be a queen and I don't want to be known just for crisis. So then I kind of turned my business. I didn't specialize just in crisis after that because I thought it's not all I did, but that was what I was sort of known for. And because not many people do it. So, when they find someone who can work with teenagers, sort of a big deal, I guess. But anyway, so yeah, I stopped doing TV after that. I didn't want to be the crisis queen anymore. So I want to be the prevention person. I want people to say, I followed that woman and I'm enjoying my kids. That's what I want. I want you to have fun parenting. It was the most fun I ever had my whole life is raising my kids. I'm a grandmother now. It's okay, but I'll tell you what I don't like about it is, she's 3 months old. She's darling, but I have to hand her back. How does that even compare to parenting? She's darling, but yet she's somebody else's kid. I loved parenting. How is handing them back to someone else as much fun as keeping them to yourself? So people talk about grandparenting like it's the best thing in the world. I don't think they enjoyed parenting as much as I did because that was the most fun I ever had. So yeah, I have to hand her back. It's like, can I have my child now? Yeah, whatever. Here you go. It's just, yeah. So grandparenting to me, no, it's nowhere near as much fun. Somebody else's kid, I don't get to live with her. So is everyone else trying to survive 3-year-olds? Lots of people do. Do you coach parents with children that might have PTSD? My daughter is 10. Yeah, absolutely. Yep, absolutely. I deal with all sorts of trauma, abuse, all sorts of horrible, awful stuff. The worst stuff you can imagine. Yeah. I don't lead with that, but that is how I started my business 17 years ago. Crisis work. It's tricky. There's no guarantees with any of this because we're dealing with human beings, right? But I do have a lot of experience with that. By the way, just a little side note, if you're taking advice from me, if you say, oh, I like what she's saying, and you're going to mix up different parenting advice from different people, it's not going to work. It's like a diet. You got to pick a path and go with it. Like if you say, well, I like what Lisa says about this, but I like what she says about that, don't mix it up. Pick a path and go with it. Give it 3 weeks. Then if it doesn't work, move on to the other path. It's like dieting. If you were to mix up different diets, would it work? Like if you were to throw time out into my methods, it wouldn't work. I hate time out. I think it's mean. I think it's humiliating. I would never do that. So yeah, you gotta just pick a path and go with it. Also, I don't know who else is out there. I'm very careful about that. If I'm ever criticizing anything, I'm not criticizing anyone. I've never read a book on parenting or kids or anything. I don't know who's teaching what out there because I teach through my own personal experience. Anyway, here's the 2 criteria. If you're going to take parenting advice from someone, you got to look for these 2 things. Has that person finished the job? Have they lived with teenagers? Are their kids now functioning adults? Okay. That's your PhD in all this. Also, they might have just had really easy kids like I did. I got respect when they were tiny, sailed right through. Now, the other criteria is have they had experience with hundreds of other kids with all sorts of challenges? Okay, that's when you can teach this stuff. If you're taking advice from someone who's just basing it on their own 2 little kids, it's like taking financial advice from someone with $10 in the bank. How do they know if what they're doing today is going to work with every kid and is going to work through the teen years? How do they know how to get you through those teen years? That is I'm always working backwards from those teen years. I know how to get you there. That's all I'm doing here. The little ones, yeah, they're cute, but it's the teen years that can be really dangerous. So I'm always working backwards. I know how to get you into those teen years. That is the challenge because big kids, big problems, right? Okay. Okay. Actually, I have to get going. I've got so much to do tonight still. I've got a lot of work to do. I do work 7 days a week, but I only coach 6 days a week. I take 1 day off coaching but anyway. Do you have teen resources on your website? No, I don't. Teens are just coaching right now because they're all so different. One day I might have a course on teens. I always think of teens, when I think of teens, I always think of the big stuff, the difficult stuff. But I will come up with a course one day that'll just be sort of the normal, not the difficult stuff. But right now I'm so busy coaching, I don't have time to do anything like that. If I decide to write a book or do more courses, I'm going to have to quit coaching for a while because I am just flat out. So anyway, I love what I do though, so I'm very lucky. I'm so confused. Well, that's okay. I don't know what you're confused about. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me. If you look at the link above, you can get my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course. I've still got those group coaching sessions going on Saturday with the boot camp course, 3 to 12 years old, 5 weeks to get respect. Or you can look into coaching. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and I'll be back again tomorrow as my regularly scheduled live, 4:30 p.m. Vancouver Pacific time. So happy parenting. Bye now.